my beautiful gardening friends, it's time for another weekly update video about my garden, and I wanted to walk around this afternoon and show you what's happening in the garden today, and hopefully we will discover some new things that are blooming and show those to you. It is the last week of July and things are looking quite abundant still in the garden. There's lots and lots of things that are still blooming, and I wanted to walk around and show you what the garden was doing today. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Preeti and I garden here in Zone 6 in Toronto, and I love sharing my gardens with you and whatever that is I'm up to in my gardens throughout the summer and spring and the rest of the year, because I also do have a lot of indoor plants that I love to enjoy throughout the year, and mostly in the winter. I rely upon them heavily to kind of bring me that plant joy throughout the year. So without further delay, let's walk around and see what's happening in my garden. This pot of Calendula is beaming. It's constantly blooming and flushing out new blooms throughout ever since I've planted it. I've come out here and deadheaded it a few times, but even though I am not too regular at deadheading this, there is always lots and lots of buds and blooms on this one. So I'm definitely going to repeat this next year in this pot, because I just love the presence it offers and the variation of height as well. There's some taller ones, some shorter ones, and I love how this looks. I also have a lot of petunias in here that are blooming and filling this pot, the other pot, really nicely. And I love how these two colors are playing off of each other. I love the pink and yellow combination. It looks stunning in the garden. And lots of blooms in the garden, but I'm surprised to see this Jack of Hearts, Queen of Hearts Brunnera blooming at this time. I wasn't expecting it to show me more blooms, but I'm thrilled that it's blooming again. And the lilies are also a constant force at this time of the year. This is the Tiger Swirl lily that's constantly blooming here, and I have a lot of glads that are blooming, but they have flopped over. We did get some rain yesterday, and the gladiolus have flopped over, so I should be cutting those and taking them in for my vase inside. But the colors on them are really stunning. It was like a Hawaiian mix, so there is yellows and corals and reds, and just vibrant and beautiful colors. And here is my show of Bubblegum Supertunias. There is the phenomenal lavender, lots and lots of bees and pollinators buzzing on this constantly, and I've been enjoying this for weeks. So really thrilled with how this is looking. There is lots of Verbena bonariensis that is blooming and looking really pretty. It's been blooming for weeks now as well, and I'm enjoying this so much. I also have lots of geranium roseanne that is blooming a lot, and it's looking really pretty. It's kind of finding its way amongst all the roses, and it's looking really beautiful. I also have this rock and blue salvia that is pushing out a lot of blooms, and it's looking really pretty. And I also have some liatris that's blooming here, and a dahlia that's also blooming. Isn't this such a beautiful color? I love this vibrant red against the dark foliage. I think this is the HF Flame Dahlia, but it's beautiful. It's got a beautiful color, and the leaves on this are really nice as well. And I also have the beginnings of blooms on my little lime hydrangeas. So excited to see those bloom over the next few weeks. And cornflowers galore. They have been blooming now for weeks, and this part of the garden is looking extremely colorful and extremely beautiful. And I also have my cornflowers here that are also still blooming and looking amazing and gorgeous. So I love walking down this path. This is the entrance to my house, and I just love the color and the vigor and the vibrancy this entrance kind of offers every time I come home. It's seeing this beautiful coneflower show. I love it. And I also have this purple alyssum that is growing quite fast and filling in, and it's looking really, really pretty. Again, this Bubblegum Supertunia is kind of adding a nice, I would say it's like a cherry on top of this beauty. It's beautiful. I love how it accentuates the end of this bed, and I love how that looks. And again, rock garden is filling in, looking pretty. Lots of dianthus blooming here as well, and it's looking really, really pretty in this bed. And then I also have my quickfire, which is opening more and more as the week progresses. This is a standard that I just planted in the spring, and it's doing really well in this spot. I think it is going to like the spot here. And lots of other little plants that are flushing out more blooms after they've received a cutback in here. So it's just beautiful at this time, and the lavender is pushing out, as you can see, new blooms at the base, and I have to come out here and cut the old blooms, but even the dried old blooms are looking so pretty. I love the height and the variation they offer. I have a quickfire fab over there that's blooming, and look at that gladiolus peeking through the verbena. Isn't that beautiful? Just love how that looks. I also have this Serendipity Allium that's opened up, and it's blooming, and it's looking really, really pretty. Love this one. I like how it's a late bloomer in the summer, so it's nice to see something from this family bloom later on in the summer. And that's the gladiolus that I was showing you. Lots of roses are also starting to reflush again. I also have a lot of calendula here that I just scattered seeds, and they're growing and just filling in the gaps. And here is the beautiful red gladiolus with the verbena bonariensis. Isn't that beautiful? Just love how this looks. A lot more roses coming into bloom. This one has a lot of blooms on it. This is Rosie the Riveter rose. Lots and lots of blooms on that one. And here are some lilies that have bloomed. I think these are the stargazer lilies that are blooming, and they are just looking so beautiful. Love, love, love how they look. And then I also have a hydrangea that's blooming in the back over there. And a lot more roses that have come into bloom right now. This is the rainbow Niagara rose that is blooming. And I also have Gertrude Jekyll that's blooming in the back over there. Isn't that beautiful? It's such a soft, beautiful pink. I love that look, how it looks. And actually it had to be cut back pretty severely from the winter damage. So I'm glad it's recovered and it's blooming and it's looking really nice. The moonshine yarrow has been blooming now for a few weeks, and it's still looking really nice. And I especially love it with all this geranium roseanne. The purple and yellow combination there looks really, really pretty. And I also have some more buds on this rose here, and then the tiger swirl lilies are blooming here as well and looking really gorgeous. Lots of things are filling in the back there. I have to go in and shape and trim some of my smoke bush tree there, and I actually gave it a prune at the base, but a lot of it has grown back with quite a bit of vigor, so I have to go in there and control it a little bit. So I plan to do that on the weekend. And I also have my firelight hydrangeas that are coming more and more into bloom. As you can see, they are whiter and more visible as the flowers are opening. And I have a phlox that's blooming with it, and it's looking so gorgeous, that combination. And also there is agastache that is kind of weaving through. So lots happening here. It's packed, but it's beautiful, and everything is looking vibrant and beautiful. I also have my coreopsis that is blooming in here and peeking through. Lots of coneflowers are blooming in there as well. And I also have this beautiful hibiscus that should bloom soon as well. I love the dark foliage against all of the green, and I love the variation of heights in here, and it's looking really beautiful. I have a variegated phlox in here that is also going to be blooming soon, so I'm excited about that. And lots of lilies in bloom here, as you can see. It's the time for lilies, and they are doing amazing. Isn't that beautiful? So this is an orange smoothie one, and I don't remember the name of this one, but this is also a proven winner's lily. It's just gorgeous. I love how this looks. And then I also have some red ones over here that are doing really good, and they look so nice with the Rudbeckias in the back there. And I also have some red here with the blanket flowers. So that's looking really, really pretty as well. And just enjoying this garden right now, like it's in its full summer glory, and more to come. Like it's non-stop and having a variety of flowers and blooms. That means that something is always in bloom, and I love, and I'm amazed week to week how this garden changes and constantly gives and gives and gives. And I just love how this is looking and coming together. So let me show you the other side of my garden, which is my driveway garden, and then I'll walk over and show you my side yard and backyard, and let's see what's happening there. So this is what my driveway garden looks like. I have balloon flower that's also blooming here. I also have lots and lots of cone flowers that are blooming here as well and looking gorgeous. And I also have beautiful hydrangeas that have just started to bloom, and they are just gorgeous. These are Panicle Hydrangeas. I don't know the variety, but they are gorgeous. And here is my rose of Sharon, which I pruned last year, and it is so full and it's just starting to bloom. I don't know if you can see with all the sun, but I'll try to show you what this looks like from this side. It's just gorgeous. This is the blue chiffon rose of Sharon. Has gorgeous bluish purple flowers, and it's just gorgeous, and it's just starting, so it's going to be covered in this beautiful blooms. Just amazing. Wanted to show you the Gladiolus from this side as well, because they are just looking super beautiful with all those colors and beauty that they're offering and the height. And I like that they're leaning, but they have this beautiful fence to lean on, and I think it's nice to see that. So it's a bunch of colors. There's corals, there's reds, there is oranges, and it's really pretty how it looks. And I especially love how it looks with the Rudbeckia and the borage. And this is my little wild garden here with Alyssum, borage, and Rudbeckia, and just doing its thing. And yeah, I have to come out here and clean up a little bit, but I'm gonna let it run its course this summer, and then we'll clean it up in the fall. So I love how this looks, and yeah, just wanted to show it to you from this angle as well, what it was doing. Let's walk and show you my side yard, and let's see what's happening there. But before that, let's pause and see what's happening here. So this is my climbing rose America, and it's just decided to give me another beautiful bloom. I love the coral rose. Beautiful fragrance, and a beautiful rose. It's called Climbing Rose America. I have to come out and deadhead this rose here, but I have a phlox that is starting to bloom here, and I love this color. This is also time for summer phlox. There's lots of phlox blooming in my garden, and I love how that looks. And this is the Pinky Winky standard that I have, which is also starting to have buds, and it's going to open soon. So excited about that. And here's another look at the stargazer lilies and a view from this side as well. So let's go into my side garden and let's see what's happening there. So this is my beautiful side garden. There we go. It was out of focus, but here we go. So the daisies are still blooming. I have come out and removed some of the tired blooms. I also trimmed back the dianthus, so I'm hoping it flushes out and gives me some more blooms. But right now the star is the phlox. Like, I have a beautiful purple phlox in the back over there that is just stunning. I love the colors. I love the Goldstrom. Black-eyed Susan is starting to open in the back there too. I have a huge patch of Echinacea here that is beautiful, and just behind it I also have a quickfire hydrangea, which is still pretty small because it's just its second year in the ground. So eventually it will fill in that spot and it will get some height, and I can limit up a bit, and it will look really nice as a backdrop to all this color, the white lacy blooms. And then I also have this big patch of balloon flowers. This patch is quite old. This plant is at least 5 years old in my garden, and comes back reliably each year, and I love the colors on this balloon flower. They look really, really pretty. And I also have more Black-eyed Susan Goldstrom on this side. So this here looks really, really beautiful and colorful. I love this corner because I see this all the time from my kitchen window. This is the garden I see from my kitchen, and I love how this looks. I also have more Echinacea here that's blooming, and there is also some carpet roses that are constantly blooming here and providing more color. And there is also some Veronica in there that's blooming as well. There is lavender that's blooming here, and lots of other flowers that are blooming. And I also have a brand new planter that I just picked up on clearance, and I'm in love with it. I mean, I couldn't walk away from this. It was pretty, and it was very reduced and on clearance, and I just had to have it. So it has some annual vinca, it has some coleus, and it has some mandibula in here, and I love the pink color that this was, so I kind of decided to add it to my garden this year. And I'm hoping that I can winter this indoors and I can keep it going for next year. And this is my very own planter that I had created. This is portulaca seeds that I had put in here, and they are blooming now, and it's looking really, really pretty. I had to be very patient with this because I planted this quite late, but I love how this turned out and how it looks. I love the sweet potato vine on one side, and in contrast with the leaves of the portulaca. And then I have this beautiful height from this canna lily, which hasn't bloomed yet, but I'm hoping that it will bloom before the end of summer. So I'm excited about this one, and it's looking really, really pretty. And I think both these planters look really good together, and I think I might repeat this combination next year. I love how that looks. And here are my Echinaceas, big patch of them, still looking really, really pretty. And then lots of dahlias coming into bloom. I also have Liatris there that is blooming, and look at these lilies. Aren't they gorgeous? These have been blooming now for a couple of weeks and still going, lots of buds to go. And I love this combination of yellows. It just looks really, really stunning in this spot, and I love how this entire bed is just so beautiful and so colorful from my kitchen window. I love, love, love this spot, and I'm so excited about how this has turned out, and it's looking really, really pretty. I also have a pinky winky hydrangea in the back there that is just starting to show me its blooms, so I think in the next couple of weeks it should bloom. And yeah, lots of other flowers here. There is delphinium, there is geranium roseanne, there is crocosima here. This is lucifer that is also blooming and looking really, really pretty. And then I have some more hibiscus here that are slow to start, but I'm hoping that I will get some blooms on them. I have to come out here and fertilize them. I haven't provided anything to them, so I'm hoping I can do that this week. And then lots of other little cone flowers here. So this is the part of my garden that gets part shade, so it's a little bit behind all of the other plants, but regardless, I do have some blooms here, and it's slowly starting to come into its own. And then I also have beautiful planters on this side. Let me show you. I have beautiful planters on this side, the other side, because I have no dirt on this side. I have a container garden here with blueberries, and then I have some chili peppers, and I also have some lemon balm in here. So this little patch here is doing really well. And I also have some marigolds that I started from seeds that are blooming in here. Aren't these pretty? I love these beautiful, beautiful colors of these marigolds. They are so beautiful and so delicate and so dainty. And then I also have a Ligularia blooming here, which has these beautiful yellow daisy-like blooms. And they are just stunning. Love how they look. I love all the yellow at this time of the year. It really complements with the pink of the Echinacea, and it looks really, really beautiful. The shade garden is very green and lush. I don't have much blooms in my shade garden at the moment. This is still a work in progress, and I think over the years I have to work a little bit more to develop this spot. But regardless, like, things are doing really well in these gardens, and I do have some Echinacea back here as well that is blooming, and it's looking really, really pretty. I do have some pinks and I have some yellows in here, and this shade garden is evolving and coming along. And I do have this other part shade border here as well that has some hydrangeas that are slowly I think settling in here. This is just the second year for this garden, so I don't have huge expectations from this garden, but regardless, I do have some blooms on my hydrangeas, and things are slowly settling in this garden. I also transplanted some bee balm here from other parts of my garden, and it's starting to bloom, so which tells me that it's taken, and now it's going to kind of create a little patch of bee balm here, which is exciting. Also have some beautiful lilies here that are blooming, just looking so pretty. It's so calm, so nice to see beautiful blooms. And I also recently planted a Hanoki Cypress. This is a dwarf Hanoki Cypress there, so I'm excited to add some evergreen interest here. I don't have any evergreen plants in here, and I also added a hotshot azalea here, so hoping it likes this spot, and it's going to add a little bit of an evergreen interest in this bed. So with these two plants, and then on this bed I also have a lot of echinaceas that are blooming. I have some fall sunflowers in the back there that are blooming, lots of veronica that's blooming, as well as geranium roseanne that's blooming. And I also recently planted, I will post a video about that, but I recently also planted a standard. This is Azuri Blue Satin Standard by Proven Winners, and I love these beautiful blue blooms. It's just starting to bloom, and I am in absolute love with this color blue, and it's so beautiful. And I think this standard looks really, really nice in this bed. It adds some height. It adds a little variation to this bed, and I love how this looks. Here is another look at the beautiful fall sunflowers. I love them at this time of the year. The yellow just, picks up on all the blues and pinks, and it just accentuates at this time of the year, and I love how this looks. So the garden is doing really, really well. I also have a patch of white coneflowers. I think they are powwow white, which I rescued last year, and these were dead, almost dead, about to be thrown out, and I rescued them, and look how nicely they are blooming and looking so great. I think I paid 50 cents for each plant because they didn't want to give it to me for free, so I had to pay something for them. But I'm in love with how this looks, and it's just gorgeous over here, and looking really, really pretty. So let's see what's happening in this bed here. So this also has a lot of yellow in it. Lots of Rudbeckias are blooming in there, and the black-eyed Susans are just coming into bloom, just looking gorgeous. I also have more fall sunflowers there. I also have some more Echinacea that's blooming here, and I also want to add more Echinaceas to this part of the garden, and slowly as my plants mature and I'm able to collect more seeds. I plan to grow more of them from seed next year and kind of fill a lot of my gaps with Echinacea, because I love how reliable they are and how good they look in the garden. And they're going to bloom all summer, so it's exciting to see that. And lots of plants are settling. There's a lot of new plants here. So this is a hyssop, that is Blue Fortune hyssop. It's also has some blooms on it, and it's looking really pretty. And then this garden here is also fairly new. Things are settling in here and looking really nice, and more cornflowers blooming here. I also have some lilies that are blooming here, and there is some white phlox that's blooming here as well. I also have some hydrangea blooms. Yeah, things are looking really good at the moment, and I wanted to share with you what this garden was looking like today. It's almost end of July, and it's really nice to enjoy the garden right now in its lushness and fullness, and it's really pretty and calm and serene here right now. So with that, thank you again so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fabulous day wherever you're joining me from, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thank you again for watching.